want to distinguish pictures. Picture of Rubio and picture of cats. AI is not only that, because it's not just learning, it's a broader field that includes machine learning. You imagine companies to be in the future.
You have a car, and it's a self-driving car.
So Andrew Ang says that it probably will take 1,000 years.
1,000 years was a little bit of exaggeration from him.
Three, two, one, go!
Hello everybody and welcome to Hackademia Podcast, where our goal is to make complex ideas simple. Here you can find artificial intelligence and data science papers explained with examples to make them clear, but at the same time to have a good insight of it. And now, your hosts, Rubio and me, Antonio. Okay, let's start. With today's episode, we want to give you a bit of the needed vocabulary to go through the world of AI and artificial intelligence and data science, using some example of AI for Everyone, the Coursera course of the role model teacher Andrew Ang. For the few of you who don't know him, among the other things, Andrew is a professor at Stanford University, co-founder and CEO of the leading online learning platform Coursera.org, author of the most popular course in machine learning, founder of Google Brain, and much more. The course AI for Everyone is a non-technical course actually for both people that want to approach AI for the first time, but also for engineers that want to know more about the business aspects of AI. We highly recommend this course because it provides a very structured way to attack the topic of artificial intelligence, and it's given by a professional with a pro experience in the AI area. So, talking about AI, what the hell is it, Rubio?
AI is everything. Or at least this is the impression I get right now. Well, because we can observe that artificial intelligence became right now kind of buzzword that is everywhere. We can nearly get any piece of software from our computer and tell, oh, there is automating task that I did. This is artificial intelligence. So I really appreciate the course and Andrew NG for describing AI by distincting its two main subsets. First one, the artificial narrow intelligence, which is the application of AI for single task. For example, smart speaker. And our second thing is artificial general intelligence. So every spooky headline that says that AI gonna take your job or AI gonna take control all over the world. Well, they are very catchy. However, artificial general intelligence, which is making intelligence that everything humans can do, is still a way of the future. Still, we have some experience with it. For example, in Saudi Arabia, we have the first robot citizen. However, we still need some time to get to that point.
Okay, so Andrew Ang says that it probably will take 1,000 years to do that. So now I'm challenging you. Can you do better?
Than 1,000 years? Well, I think 1,000 years was a little bit of exaggeration from him. Well, maybe we cannot do it right now, but definitely not in 1,000 years. Well, and I get my argumentation from three main factors. I observed that if we make three big steps as a humankind and scientific community, then the making of artificial general intelligence wouldn't be a way of the future, but a real problem of today. And the first one is computational power. So our brains work on very high computational power. So if we want to make artificial intelligence that would be also as smart as human, we need to have the computational power that can achieve this. And currently the supercomputers are using classical computing. However, companies like IBM or Google are creating their own quantum computers that in 5 years probably will make current supercomputers just slow. And second, when we will have this computational power, we'll have to understand how human works. We don't have still a very detailed map of the brain. We still have right now the level of axon, but we are speaking about very precise understanding of our humanity and our brain. that will be done not only by the people from the IT, but also from biology, from neurosurgeons. And the third and final thing that I think we need to develop to speak fully about artificial general intelligence is software where is the robot where we're gonna put this artificial intelligence, so humanoid robots. And so far we have the Boston Dynamics with Atlas robot that can do backflips.
Yeah, that's really
cool. We have the Asimo by Honda that can kick ball, be your waiter, and dance with you. But yeah, we still need to develop much better robotics. But after these three are done, and they will be done in probably next decade, we are not talking about 1,000 years, we are talking about decades.
Okay, so coming back to the definition, to wrap up, artificial general intelligence is the artificial intelligence that tries to do whatever a human can do, while artificial narrow intelligence is for a specific task. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But today we never use AGI or NNI for defining AI. I always heard about AI for both. Sometimes also, like for for machine learning, they use the term AI. So maybe I should point out the difference, I would say. So if we want to sum up, machine learning is just a part of artificial intelligence, and it refers to the learning process of AI. So the idea is that a computer can improve its accuracy to perform a task, and just feeding it with a huge amount of examples so that it can make slightly adjustments every time a new example comes in. And but AI is not only that, because it's not just learning. It's a broader field that includes machine learning. It's in general the ability of learning without being explicitly programmed. But it's more related to the decision-making process than just to the acquiring knowledge from data, for example. So let's pick this example of a self-driving car that I think we are a bit familiar with. One of the tasks that a car should do is recognition of pedestrians, cars, traffic lights, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the recognition part is just a machine learning task, but it's not all, right? How can you... you cannot learn to drive only if you can understand that in front of you there is a pedestrian. You have to avoid him, or I don't know, maybe not. But how to use the info, this is the AI process. This is called motion planning, for example. You have steer, accelerate, brake, that are the function that you have to perform, but how to define how much you have to accelerate, how much you have to steer. That's more an AI process.
Okay, my smart friend. So if you're translating buzzwords so good, machine learning, AI, what is a deep learning?
Oh, right. Deep learning is just a small part of machine learning. Okay, maybe it's the most powerful of it, but anyway, it's just a piece. To talk about it, actually, we have to introduce the concept of artificial neural network. That's not that easy. So imagine you want to distinguish pictures, okay? That's an easy task. So let's take picture of Rubio and picture of cats. So
I really like this example.
I know it. So if you should define, to make a computer program, usually you define a set of rules to distinguish them, right? So how would you describe yourself with a set of rules?
Well, comparing to cats?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say I don't have whiskers. Well, I still can have mustache, but not so long. I have a pale skin, so the cat has fur on his face, and I go on 2 legs, not 4.
Okay, so let's say today is carnival. You dress as a cat and you start walking as him. So you become a cat, or?
Yeah, definitely. Then I'm a cat. Of course I'm not.
Okay, so everything depends, right? It's not that straightforward to define rules. You saw it yourself. But maybe we can use neural network to solve this problem. So the idea is if the traditional programming traditional computer science approach is the if-then-else programming approach that fails in this case. So the idea is, instead of having an input-output with the middle a function that you program and you explicitly program, in this case you have an input and an output, but in the middle you have neurons that you have to think as units that are connected among themselves. what happens in this case is, okay, you show a picture of Rubio to that computer. The neurons, you don't know what is the patterns that make that picture to be Rubio. So the neurons extract these patterns and they return the value that you want. Or maybe it can be wrong. The first time that you show a picture is like to show a picture to a child, right? Then you say, is Rubio as a cat? You're probably gonna say is a cat, right? And then you say, no, it's Rubio. Oh, okay, then he makes a little bit of adjustments and then he improve and he actually learn. So this is the idea. And the more example it sees, the more little rules and patterns it learns.
Well, okay, let me hear. It looks like really beautiful mathematical model. However, I have one problem with it. Let me ask you a question that most of my friends asked after mathematics classes in high school. Where I'm gonna apply it? Where I'm gonna apply this beautiful model?
Oh, okay. Let's make a game, okay? So don't be fooled because we are prepared actually. So I'm gonna tell you application of supervised learning and you're gonna tell me what input and output you can expect.
All right. I can play this game, but don't you think that first we should introduce the idea of supervised learning?
Yeah, sure.
Well, supervised learning, part of machine learning that maps input-output based on multiple examples of such input-output.
Oh, okay, stop it. I think we can translate it in a simpler way. So just think that when you train the neural network, you check the answer that the machine gives, and then you tell him if it's correct or not. So you give him the answer, and he actually learned. I think it's much easier to say it in this way, right? Okay, let's start the game. The first example would be the easiest and the most common one. That is the spam filter. So what is the input and the out? What are the input and the output of it?
Okay, so let's get spam filter. So for input, I need emails. I need spam emails. I need all our normal emails, but labeled. So I want to know which emails are actually spam and which are not. So if I show lots of pairs like that, on the output I expect that I will have email and the output 0, 1 if it's spam or not.
Yeah, okay, yes, you're right. And for speech recognition instead?
Okay, so let's have as an input just an audio. So for example, MP3 file. And as an output, I want to see the text transcript, like you can see on video transcripts from Coursera.
Okay. And if I want to translate something and I use a machine translation?
That can be a little bit tricky. But, well, like playing the game, well, as an input, I just have one word in one language or one sentence. And as an output, I have the output in completely another language. So as an input, I have hello from English, and as an output, I have in Chinese ni hao.
Oh, you also know Chinese. You're very smart. And online advertisement. I'm challenging you.
Online advertisement. Well, so probably like on this pop-up Facebook advertisement that I see, for example. So as an input, I want to know about somebody. So I put as an input or your likes that you're giving to my Facebook page, and as an output, I want to get all the user info as an input, and let me think about it. As an output, I will have the click. So if somebody clicked on the advertisement or not.
So the conversion.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good. And the last will be an easier one because I already talked about self-driving car. So tell me more.
Yeah, we have as an input image. So, well, it can be also video because we want to see everything that is happening.
Time.
And probably as an output, I would like to have distance to the near obstacles.
Okay. It's actually a good example because here you can also think about not having only video, but let's say radar or GPS, something like that. It would be really useful. And as you can see, it's very beautiful.
If you think about it, you can extract knowledge from data. Like imagine the phenomena that is behind this.
Yeah, that's why there is another scientific area that is becoming a buzzword. Actually, not only a buzzword, but is called The Sexiest Job of 2012, and we're speaking about data science. As you have seen till now, AI is based on data, right? So we have images, text, audio, and they are all data. Data science, following Andrew Ng, and its definition is science of extracting knowledge and insight from data.
But here at Hackademia, we like to show complex ideas simple, not only through definitions, but mainly through examples. Well, so let's focus on data science. Well, you said that it's science about extracting.
Yeah.
So you get from the name that it's a process itself, which is very nice because, well, then we as a data scientist created something called the data science process, which is like the template or how to do.
Oh, can you describe it, please?
Well, the idea is that first you have to obtain data, obviously, somehow. But you don't care if it's dirty, if it's not dirty, you have to have something. Then you make the scrubbing, so you try to get it in the nice version, let's say. Well, you clean the data. Then you explore it, so you understand what actually you gathered from the cleaning and from the scrubbing. And you get the idea what to do, what model would best apply for the data that you have and for the task that you have. So that would be the fourth element, the model. And the last, but not least, the interpretation. When you put your results into good use or realize that, okay, actually, I have nice conclusions, but I need more data. And here the cycle goes again. And yeah, unfortunately at the Diki department at Maastricht University, students of data science run projects with students from artificial intelligence. And yeah, so for example, Antonio, what currently you are working on?
Well, now we're working at this, okay, I'll give you an example. Think of a PowerPoint presentation. Usually you have to change slide or you use your keyboard, and it's very annoying. Otherwise you buy expensive pointers, other tools, maybe not only to change slide, but also to make some fancy stuff like zooming or highlighting and so on. Our project is about make all this possible, but just using your hand gestures and your body gestures. And you can do it only using your regular laptop webcam. So why is AI? Because at a certain point we will have to collect data in the form of video of gestures. So let's say I'm waving my hand, and then we have to label them to say, okay, this was an hand waving, and this must be connected with the gesture, with the function to change slide actually. Or let's say this, just wide your fingers, it's just for zooming, highlighting, and so on.
So you're just letting people be lazy.
Exactly. Is the aim of artificial intelligence.
Do it for me. Just change the slide.
Yeah,
but actually I really like this example. Well, for example, I on previous semester got the project about the broken hearts. Well, obviously I'm kidding, but this wasn't about the broken hearts itself. But it was about the ECG method of, like there's some specialized method called body surface map potential that allows you to put lots of nodes on your body and then to get the information about how your heart beats. And the problem is that it's not unified. And we wanted to verify actually how much of the points do you need. Do you need 100 of them? Do you need 50 of them? The standard procedure is 12. So how much do you need? And what we did was exactly following the data science process. First, we obtained the data. That was really messy, like missing labels, everything that you can imagine that could go wrong went wrong. So that's why first we had to scrub it. We had to apply filters on it. And after we had the final version that was, let's say, comprehensible, we explored the data and actually realized what model we need to apply for the stuff that we have. We used artificial neural network for this, and that was our model. And as an interpretation, we get the results that actually you may require 1/3 less of the node points.
So like
the model
4 instead of 12.
Well, actually the BSPM model usually gets lots of points, so it was from 60 to 40.
Ah, well,
we didn't get
not
too
bad.
much of the information decrease. So yeah, and that was our conclusion. But also another conclusion was that to get better results, we need more data.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we can probably use these artificial intelligence projects, put it into a company and to make an AI company, maybe, right?
Well, it sounds very close. However, if you want to have just the company plus deep learning, that doesn't mean you got the artificial intelligence company already. And that's nice because Andrew NG also is indicated that in his course. He's indicating like several factors that are responsible for that. For example, strategic data acquisition, because you're going to operate on data. So if you're an AI company, you take that into consideration. Second, you usually have the unified warehouses. Well, for obvious reasons, like right now in European Union, we have the GDPR.
Yeah.
So all the privacy reasons let you work at unified data warehouse. The third thing, the pervasive automation. If you can automate a task, so for example, you have a task, and usually in companies, the solution is to, okay, let's hire a person for dealing with this task. But in the future, actually, we'll have two options. We could hire a new person or automate the process. And if you're the AI company, you'll always choose the second one. And last is there will be new roles in AI companies. For example, let's say not CEO, Chief Executive Officer, but Machine Learning Executive Officer.
Not bad, but so it's not true that artificial intelligence is gonna steal our job.
Well, if you're talking about this, I think the artificial intelligence won't steal our jobs. It will enable companies that actually go through AI transformation grow even faster. So for people that will be capable of using artificial intelligence, I think it will provide even more jobs for them.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but well, so we can ask yourself, if you are in the company right now, and obviously you don't want to have your job stolen by artificial intelligence, you probably want to have some AI transformation in your company. And also in the course, there is the indication where we can observe the 5-step model of how we can do it. And first you start with making the pilot projects, where you see that there are parts of activity of your company that can be automated, and you test if that's possible. Then if it's success, you can build an AI in-house team that can work for you, and then voila, you actually created a team of people that can develop the idea that you want. So then you can provide AI trainings for not only the AI team, but for all staff that you have. And with this, all your workers are aware of the AI and how it can be implemented in day-to-day jobs. So you can start develop AI strategies as top executives. And at the end, you just align internal and external communication so that every party that is involved in the company, like the stakeholders, customers, workers, know exactly what you're doing and can navigate the rise of artificial intelligence in your company. But okay, I told about how you can make artificial intelligence transformation. But what should I do if I want to start my own artificial intelligence company from the scratch?
Okay, actually, I got really excited to start too while I was taking this course. And so I started Googling it, and I found this very, very interesting YouTube video from Siraj Raval. And if you want to search it, is Watch Me Build an AI Startup. It's a very nice video because he makes a prototype of an AI startup that is building, actually, describing all the processes you will be involved into doing it. From how to find ideas, to market researches, or to the business aspects, but also the technical aspects. It's a 39 minutes video, probably a bit long, but it provides you all the tools you need to start. So I highly recommend it. If you want to check it out, Watch Me Build an AI Startup of Siraj Raval. So talking about company, how do you imagine companies to be in the future?
Okay, well, you're asking a very good question, but you have to be aware that it may sound crazy what I will tell.
Okay, let's
Well,
try then.
But okay, let's start. So let's have example. Very popular Uber application enables to work as a driver wherever you are on Earth. But imagine that you have a car and it's a self-driving car. So actually, if it's self-driving car, if you program several lines of code, it can actually operate all its tasks itself. So it can be the car that is owned by itself with several lines of code somewhere in the cloud. And during the day, it works as a taxi driver, perhaps with international cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, so you don't care about local currencies. And during night, you are refueling yourself, or if you need, you go to repair. And yeah, you can actually, with lines of code, well, if you think about it, there are just set of actions, set of rules. So you can also program situation when you earn enough, you buy a new car, and then you make your artificial intelligence company that is creating all fleet of cars, and it's growing and growing. But if it's not needed, it can also sell cars. So it can perfectly adjust itself. Cool. But okay, one example. Mm-hmm. Imagine a second example. Media company, completely owned by artificial intelligence. At the beginning, there is the lady who wants to create the artificial intelligence company. Mm-hmm. So she creates the smart contract, which is the contract that can be made by several people, and they all agree and they write everything in code. And well, you can also make your artificial intelligence program that every day skims through all news in the internet and gets the news that what happened daily. Well, at the beginning, when the contract is created, you say that, okay, I want to focus my company, my media company, about liberal values, or about conservative values, or I want to showcase every piece of news that's connected to Star Wars. And if you're a fan of Star Wars, you probably want to watch that news. So for example, you can start also, the artificial intelligence can have a Kickstarter platform. So when you like the information, you pay for it. It's like the subscription.
Wow, it's democratize the system. I like it.
Probably can, yeah, exactly. You can, it can be fully independent, no influence of any politician. Yeah. No influence of being biased, because everything is written at the very beginning, and yeah, everybody who wants can participate in it.
Not bad, not bad.
Imagine hiring, well, that you won't be hired by a human, and you won't be complaining to your friends about your boss, but you'll be complaining, oh my gosh,
that
my
line of code.
Yeah, exactly.
I ate that line of code. I want to delete it.
like really, it makes me work so hard. If we could work without this line of code with our artificial intelligence boss,
life would be okay. Snap back to reality, man, and think what now machine learning can do and what cannot do. Andrew said that if a human can do a task, this is the general principle. He said to understand. If you can use artificial intelligence to solve a problem. So he said, if a human can do a task in less than 1 second, then machine learning probably can solve the same task. So yeah, I think we can provide some good example. For example, we already talked a lot about self-driving car. Can you?
Yeah. So we observed that it can do mapping of photo from cameras, mm-hmm. or photos of videos of this area, and can map it to the distance to all nearby objects. What machine learning cannot do, imagine you have photos of humans. Everybody's holding his hand up. But one is a policeman that is making a sign. One is just a hitchhiker who just want to get a free ride. And somebody is waiting for help because something happened. So in this case, if we try to teach machine to interpret also human intention of a person, with current knowledge, that might be a little bit too difficult for machine learning.
Yeah, probably in the future, will be easier, but yeah, in the actual state of art, no. Another example could be X-ray diagnosis. For example, you want to diagnose cancer, so if you provide to the machine 10,000 X-ray pictures labeled with the cancer, no cancer, then it's just an image recognition. It's like distinguish Rubio from cats. Maybe a little bit more difficult, but at least the same area of complexity. So it's just an image recognition task. But what you cannot do is to diagnose pneumonia or cancer from just 10 X-ray pictures, extracting knowledge from a book. So as a doctor does actually, right? He studies medicine for 10 years, and then he just after watching some example on the book, then he can do the thing. Yeah, that's actually artificial intelligence now at least cannot do this task. Do you have other examples? But please the final one, because we have also to
we could get the examples.
Yeah.
Well, the one that I can have is the demand prediction. So we can make the mapping of price and information connected with the product, and have the demand that's on the market. So we can create pairs like this, and we can actually machine learning can do it and is doing it. However, it's a little bit problematic because machine learning isn't too good with situations that haven't happened before. And we know that on the market you can have shocks like crises that
or raising of Bitcoin, for example.
Or bubbles, because the Bitcoin bubble was also market shock. And that's the problem, because you cannot predict something that you have never seen before. Well, you can, and sometimes you can produce very, very bizarre results. That would be the demand example. And I think that's it for today. We talked about various angles about artificial intelligence, and maybe the viewers, instead of asking themselves why I haven't got interested in artificial intelligence 5 years from now, well, they can start teaching themselves and get interested about it
right now.
Today. Yeah. So if you like the podcast, subscribe, follow, or just share the wonderful idea about artificial intelligence, or just leave a comment. And let me ask you guys, how in your opinion AI will change the way we live?
Good. Thanks, Rubio.
Thank you, Antonio.
See you next episode.